and welcome to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. I'm really happy you are here. If this is your first time, welcome. This show is all about helping you have life and have it to the full. We talk about all the topics you care the most about, from parenting, entrepreneurship, faith, family, pretty much everything in between. I'm all about the conversations that cause us to think a little different, do a little different, and hopefully live our lives even better. If you've been here before, I'm so happy you're back. This is going to be a great show, you guys. I love sitting down with these guests because I think every time we do a new show, I make a new friend. I think you've probably heard me say it if you've been here before a million times. This is my favorite person. This is my favorite person. I have so many favorite people because I think there's something magical about sitting down with someone and hearing their story, sharing their story with the world, and then seeing how maybe you at home, wherever you are, can learn something in your life that you can apply and, I don't know, live a little bit better. I think so many times we're all just craving the wisdom and the learnings from people who have gone before us and are charging new paths and learning from their mistakes, learning from their wins. And we're getting into it today, you guys. I'm really excited. I think today's topic, if I were to really put it down, would be it's about really setting boundaries and setting intentions with your life. So how can you look at your life differently? If you don't know what boundaries are, they're one of my favorite things because growing up, I was super shy, you guys. Actually, I had a speech impediment. So I would be talking to somebody when I worked in the restaurant and I would just like phase my voice out. And they'd be like, "What did you say?" And I would literally phase out because I was so shy and so insecure using my voice in the world. And as I've grown and evolved as a human, I've learned how to speak on stages and share my message with the world because I think sometimes what you were most created for, what your life was most about, is usually where you'll face the most pain because it's your pain that brings forth your purpose. And today, our first guest, Lynn's son, she is going to get into how your pain can give you those punchlines. She is a comedian. In fact, she's one of the very first comedians from Cambodia to get her own half-hour segment on Peacock TV and full hour on Amazon Prime. I'm so excited to talk about her and talk to her about her story because she has such an amazing disposition on life. She's positive, she's funny, and I literally was like fighting the tears, laughing, meeting her behind the scenes. I can't wait to bring her on the show and talk to her. We're going to get into some wild stuff about her past. She's literally done some things in her life that got her behind bars. She talks about that because it's all about finding that punchline. And I think about for my own journey, how I've found purpose in the pain in my story. And I think a lot of it really has come down to setting boundaries in my life, to identify the things in my life that were not working. And I think the only way you really do that is by looking within, asking yourself those tough questions, especially if you're in a relationship. Maybe you've been in a relationship or you are in one right now where things aren't working very well. Sometimes we can feel like it's always going to be like that, so we don't even stop and take the time to look within and ask ourselves, what's coming up for me? And what do these triggers really mean? Because sometimes we hear the word triggered and we think it's a total buzzword. Everyone's talking about it right now. But in reality, what is that trigger really saying to you? Is there a message that's trying to get through to help you live life a little bit more intentional, a little bit more focused, and a little bit more truthful? So many times I think in this life we're designed to say, "Oh, I'm fine, don't worry about it," and we suppress so much of our feelings. But what would this life look like for you if you decided when you felt something to be more like a faucet, to just let the emotions flow through? Because emotions are meant to be in motion. And so much of our life is spent held together, clogged up, thinking, "Oh, I can't share my flaws with the world. I can't be real about what I'm struggling with because if somebody knew, they wouldn't accept me. If someone knew, they would say something different." So our second guest on today's show is going to be talking about this. She is a business owner. Her name is Laura Rigetti, and she is one of the most well-respected hairstylists in LA. She works with everyone from Victoria Justice to Tori Spelling. She's done Kelly Osbourne, Dixie D'Amelio, so many incredible people. So today she's going to talk about how she is actually gone through a journey, finding sobriety, finding faith, finding a journey of something deeper. And I feel like what inspires me so much, knowing her story, and so excited today to share and hear what she has to say, is that you will actually see a person who's being real. She owns her own business. She owns the Beauty Can. She's done reality television. But during the course of doing a show for Paramount, she had to look at herself and ask herself those tough questions. Do I like who I've become? Is this person the person I want to be? She's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, and she really wanted to take a step back and think for her children what her future would look like. And so today she's going to talk about that journey, and I'm so excited to hear what she says because I love her so much. And I think that when people get real and raw, that's where transformation happens. We overcome by the power of testimony. And I believe that there's something about that. And my faith tells me that when I give it, when I go all in, when I just trust God to work things together for good, I know things will work out as they should. But that doesn't mean that at home, when we feel prompting in our spirit, when we feel led to make different choices for ourselves, maybe we say no to something that's destructive for us. Because every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. Really think about that. The next time you get a gig or a new job, you're saying yes to that, you're saying no to something else. Maybe you're saying no to more time with your kids if you're traveling. Maybe you're saying no to that dream job because you're taking on a promotion and you love the promotion, you love what they're going to pay you, but that might mean that you're saying no to that side hustle passion that you've been birthing within you. I think it's so important when we can look within and say, you know what, maybe I don't love everything that I see here, but that's okay because that's where transformation happens. So many of us say stuck because we think that we can't change. We think that the problems that we face are too much and we're stuck there. And if you think you're stuck, then you won't transform, you won't evolve. But if you actually look at problems as being opportunities for transformation, you're going to see yourself someone different. I've seen myself as a different human now because of the obstacles that I faced. But I didn't just face obstacles and cry about it and think, oh, that was really hard. I faced those obstacles and then I thought, how can I evolve? How can I be different? How can I be better? How can I read more, educate myself? How can I ask myself those tough questions? Maybe someone's giving you advice and it's frustrating you, it's challenging you, and you're thinking, I don't want your advice. But then what you might see is that on the other side of that advice is transformation. So take a second. Get comfortable in the uncomfortable. If you've been on the same merry-go-round for 35 years and you finally decide you're going to do something different, you get off that merry-go-round, you're going to be super dizzy and you're probably going to trip and fall and embarrass yourself. But that's the path of transformation. If you don't get comfortable in the uncomfortable, you won't evolve. One thing I've heard said so many times that I love so much is that people change when the pain of staying the same becomes bigger than the pain of changing. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. That's what I want you to do when you watch these shows with me every day, coming back and seeing this content so that you can actually see maybe there's something for you in this conversation today that's going to inspire you, that's going to transform you. Our third interview, guys, I'm really excited, is with Nikki Chadro Schneider. Okay, she is the co-founder of Project Pop Drop. And this is an amazing organization. It works with 100 different charities to provide 90,000 meals every single month. Think about the impact and the influence that Nikki is having in the world. And I'm so excited to hear what she has to say. As you know, I've worked with many organizations over the path of my career, and learning something new from her, I want to take that back to these organizations that I work with. In fact, just this week, I was super honored because one of my good friends, Shay Savin, who I'm trying to get on the show, by the way, he's a publicist, he invited me to an event for Operation Smile. If you don't know who they have, over the past 40 years, performed over 400,000 cleft palate surgeries to help children and adults in other countries who do not have access to the surgeries that they need, the health care that they need. They have been going to these other countries helping these humans see the dignity of having a transformed life, to eat better, live better, talk better, drink water. I mean, some things that we take for granted, these sweet babies are born without being able to do that. And so founded by the incredible Bill and Kathy McGee, they're both surgeons who have performed surgeries themselves. Now they've passed on the business to Billy McGee, their son, to help make a difference in these other incredible places. Harrison Ford was being honored. I was so excited to meet him. I loved him so much. My husband didn't even know that he was supposed to be at the event. So when I sent him a selfie, my husband dropped it. He was like, why am I home with the baby? I know it sounds shady, but I didn't know that he didn't know. I'm like, it's not my fault. You're not listening. It's just the husband-wife dynamic. But he was amazing. Gene Simmons was there being honored. He keeps all of his hard work real tight-lipped. Even his own family didn't know about it, but it was so incredible to be there. I'm so excited for today's episode, in case you can't tell. Don't go anywhere, you guys. When we come back to the McCord List today, I am going to jump right in with our first guest, Lynn Sun. I love you already. Rachel McCord on the McCord List. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back with the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. You guys get ready. Get a tissue because you're going to laugh so hard you're going to cry. I am sitting down with Lynn Sun. She is the first Cambodian comedian to get a... Ping pong.
Yeah.
We're going to...
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get her own half an hour segment on Peacock TV and an hour on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you
You're
for having me.
amazing, but don't move your arms.
I feel out of place because
like
Rachel's so beautiful.
A little bit. She's not allowed to move her arms too much because wait, move your arm right now in my yeah, there it is. Wait.
No.
Wait, on me.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, my camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We told her she could move one. You can move this arm in my studio. Welcome to the show, guys. We haven't lost our marbles yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to talk to you. What a wild story.
Thank you.
You're so funny, too.
Thank you.
I feel like the first thing we just need to jump right into is how you think we need to get better at being famous.
We do.
So tell me what you mean.
Because I walked into this studio and I was like, wow. Like, just awkward. I like plop myself down and I just like don't, you know what I mean? And sorry, I moved this hand.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm gonna get a little strap for that hand and just like,
look at you. You're so graceful and beautiful and all of this. And I'm just like, dude. And then she's like putting on her own mic and you're doing all the things yourself.
That's inappropriate because you need to be, I need to sit here like a rude statue and be like, serve me, peasants.
Because I was saying Meryl Streep doesn't mic herself. She doesn't do those things.
Yeah, that's
She saves her energy for her talent.
Yeah. But I think that if micing yourself does take away that much of your talent, you might need to reevaluate your career. No offense to Meryl.
Yeah.
She's iconic. So I'm sure that's different.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you got to roll the sleeves up,
do.
you know? Like, because a lot of entertainment business is the business of entertainment.
Right.
I've built a whole career off of this. In fact, it's funny that you said that about famous because I wrote a book called Slay the Fame Game. I know, it's, you know, but the tagline saves it a little bit. The title is now a little cringy for me, but the tagline is break into social media in Hollywood without it breaking you.
Nice.
So it's like a sassy self-help, but I am teaching people how to be famous. So I did think that was funny. That's the first thing you said.
I need the book.
Yeah, well, I don't think that you do.
I do.
Well, okay, so if we were going to do a fame audit on you today, what would we say? What do we need to step up?
For me?
Yeah. What do we
need to be a little more chill and graceful, you know?
Oh, chill and graceful.
I'm not paid to be pretty, so I walk in and everybody knows I'm there. I'm like a bull in a china shop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like just, you just gracefully walk into the room and
I do?
sit
Do I
down
float a little? Like,
yeah, you float a little bit. Like,
Oh.
you have an air about you that's very like, she's the boss. But she's
Do I
calm.
really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
There's a
you
lot
do.
you're reading without me saying much,
Yeah.
it sounds like. I love this.
Yeah.
Wait, what
I can see it.
are my issues though?
You
Miking
don't have
myself.
any. You don't-
Miking
I
no,
know, but I
let's-
was joking.
Oh, okay, that
You know
was
what I
not
mean?
an
You're
issue.
a boss bitch. Can I say bitch on you?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But you did. And
You're a boss, babe. You know, you got to put, and you know what, in women, we get things done. That's just how
get it
is.
done.
That's just how it is.
Wait, speaking of getting it done, your mom got it done.
Yeah.
You were born on the way from a refugee camp in Thailand.
In Thailand.
On the way to America.
Yes.
As a Cambodian little bug.
Yes. I was in my mom's belly. They were escaping the Khmer Rouge. They were on their way. So they were in Thailand in the refugee camp. And then they got sponsored over to America.
What?
So I came here when I was 6 months old. I was a baby.
Oh my gosh. And then now you're like in these epic comedy segments, doing these things.
Yeah.
Doing your dream. Is it kind of crazy?
It's crazy, but I have this thing, I don't know if it's an immigrant thing or whatever, but I never think I'm doing enough. Like, I never think I'm successful enough. I'm not working hard enough.
I think that's the human condition.
Or is it a woman? Or I don't know what it is.
Yes, I understand.
Because
It's
men be
always
like,
climbing.
men want the maximum praise for the minimum. You know what I'm saying? And for
It's
us,
like when a guy says, we're pregnant. I'm like, what did you do? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you, husband.
No. But no, seriously. And I just always, I just didn't think one half an hour on Peacock. I was like,
I mean, that's iconic. What was that like, though? Did you have one moment where you celebrated, even with a little sparkling Martinelli's?
Yeah, I did. Afterwards, I was like, yeah, this is my first half-hour special, you know.
What am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And then you were immediately like, oh.
And then I did my hour.
Keep working.
Yeah,
and then you got that 1 hour.
Because we're moms.
Yes.
And moms, I just want my son to be proud and my son to see that mom's ambitious and mom follows her dreams. And that's what I want.
Do you feel like there's a little bit of like a success phantom chasing you? Like, you're almost there, you're like always like running to get to the, because I wonder if he's already pretty proud of you as you are.
I think he might be, because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't have any other mom to compare it to. But I think once I have like $1 million in my bank account just sitting there, I'll feel really successful.
So then what if you just went on Canva, you printed out one of your statements, but you changed the number, you put it on your wall and you stared at it all the time, then would you feel successful?
Like if I put on, if I put...
Like you made a fake statement and put it on your wall so you could stare at it all the time. You know, it's like...
Lynn's son is the first Cambodian multimillionaire.
Yes. Yes. And
America.
Then you woke up every day and you walked with that air.
Oh my God.
You know?
Look at
Did
this,
we just
you guys.
change your life?
She just changed my life. I'm a millionaire.
Done.
That's it. I didn't even have to pay $500.
I wouldn't have known that you weren't a multimillionaire except that you you know? Done. What else do you want? Let's fix that too.
Wow. Okay, so now I want... No, I keep going.
No, but genie in a bottle vibes?
No, but I'm so glad you asked me these questions. These are great because I don't think about myself like that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think about my success and all that stuff. Like I just...
Well, I think it's very holistic success, right? Like I think it's so important to just honor what, I mean, you've had an epic journey. I mean, you know, and I want to talk a little bit about some more drama. So you had a pretty wild childhood.
I did.
You've got a story behind bars. What on earth?
Yeah.
What happened?
You
story
behind
jail.
Yeah, I was in jail. Am I allowed to say all these things? I just can't say bad words on here, right? But I
you can talk about the drama.
Oh no.
Give me the scoop.
10 years when I was 29, I was a erotic massage girl.
What?
I was an erotic massage girl, and I was making so much money. I was like,
very good at
I
what
would never
do
this for free. I was like, men pay for this? This is easy. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what I did. I did that for a year, and then I got busted 3 times while I was doing the massages. But they never took me to jail. But then 5 years later,
why didn't they take you to jail?
Because I didn't do the full service. I was just
I'm asking.
Yeah. It was just I was just rubbing and tugging. Nothing was inserted anywhere.
This is the most iconic interview ever.
Yeah, so and then 5 years later I got pulled over and I didn't do all the things the court ordered me to do when I got busted. So I had a bench warrant and they took me.
So there were some things you were supposed to do that maybe you didn't realize you were supposed to do. No, so it was an error of like
yeah, because they're like, we'll lower your charges. You know, but you have to go to this class and you'll do community service.
What kind of classes do you do?
I had to go to like an HIV class. And I was like, does a hand job give you HIV though? Like, I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if any.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see what my team says about this interview. They're gonna be a great job.
No, but on a serious note, that's the things that got me to where I am now. Well, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, and now you're on these stages and you're making people laugh. Yeah. Is it like exciting right before you go on stage that you're about to share just your mess and your success and you know, make people laugh? What is that like?
The proudest part about it is that I can turn it into punchlines.
Yes.
That's what I'm most proud of.
Efficient pain.
Yes.
Yes, I like efficient pain.
Because they call it turning pain into punchlines.
Okay. See, I look at pain into purpose. But you know, we all got our journeys.
Yeah.
So a punchline, that's so good.
Yeah. So and I'm telling you, it was very empowering for me. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm an entrepreneur now, a businesswoman now. I just make my own money. Like I don't have to go clock in, clock out, whatever. I just do my own thing. And I encourage women to do that.
Wow. Not
Like,
do
just
what
not
you
do
did
that.
early on.
I mean, if you
but
want to, I'm not going to judge you, but
Yeah.
I'm saying
yeah.
take it into your own hands, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Not like this, though. Don't do this in your hands, but down here.
I think about so many things. There's a lot of things I can't even say. I'm like, wait, what were you in trouble? Okay. Don't take it in your hands,
Yeah.
but take it in your hands. You know what I mean? Like, just,
Right.
just build.
You know what I'm talking about.
I feel like this is the edgiest episode we've done so far. Last
I
time
told
I had
you.
a comedian on my show, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm getting, like, it's almost like getting in trouble by being, like, too close to the comedy, because you can say a lot of stuff I can't say.
No, you can't.
And
She
I
can't say a lot of things.
No, I can't. And I probably wouldn't,
Yeah.
But maybe I would think it, but maybe I wouldn't. I'm not quite sure. Is
You
it
can't
wild?
Listen, Rachel, we're not the same brand. You and I
We're not the
could be
same
friends forever. We'll never be in competition.
That's true.
We are in our own
your
lanes.
people are not my
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
They're not gonna like me very much. I'm gonna be too vanilla probably for your crowd.
But you said you grew up in some grit.
Yeah, I grew up in trailer parks, went through some trauma,
There you go.
made my way on a jumbotron in New York City.
There you go.
No
That's
big
why she
deal.
thinks I'm funny.
I
Because
do
if
think you're funny.
if you were really from Brentwood, you would sit here right now and stare at me really awkwardly.
Do I look like I'm from Brentwood?
Yes.
That's good. So you don't look like you're from Brentwood, but you got some grit, like
Some
you're from a
grit.
trailer park.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That is true, though. It's hard to have a deep conversation with someone who doesn't have grit.
No.
Because it's almost like, you know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
like, no.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
it's a whole
It's
different
that
struggle.
family money mode. I don't have that. I'm trying to build that for my kid.
Right.
But maybe I don't smell of that. Or maybe I look like it, but then if you talk to me too long, you're going to figure out.
Right. Well, the minute you think I'm funny, I know. I already know. I'm like, she's ghetto. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. Don't cut that out.
I love you so much. No, we're going to keep that in. Okay, where do we find you? How do we stalk your comedy? This is amazing.
You can do. I'm on Instagram at Lynn Torius.
Lynn Torius, of
That's
course
easy.
you are.
And on TikTok, Lynn Torius, and Facebook is just Lynn's son.
I
I
love
had
you.
so much fun talking to you.
This was amazing.
I
I
feel
feel
like
like I
we
need
need
to
to
wake
talk
up to
more.
ringtones of your jokes. I feel like I'd start my day like just cry laughing.
Take it into your own hands.
Yes, that's yeah. That one really did me in today. All right, you
Thank
guys,
you.
don't go
Thank you.
anywhere. We'll be right back. I can't talk anymore. On the McCord list today, I'm Rachel McCord. Coming up next is my friend Laura Rigetti. She is an amazing hairstylist and, of course, a salon owner who's worked with some of the most iconic celebs you've ever heard of. She's going to break it down right after this. Don't go anywhere. And we're back with the McCord list today. I'm Rachel McCord, sitting down with Laura Rigetti. She's a hairstylist and, of course, the proud owner of the Beauty Can
The
hair
Beauty
salon.
Can.
Hi, Beautiness.
Hi, I
I'm
miss
so
you.
happy we got to do
I
this.
know it's been. I feel like we've been trying to do this
For so
and
long.
then our schedules get
I know.
crazy.
And you were going to start a podcast. Did you start one yet?
Oh my gosh! Wait, let's see.
been
That was
so
like what
busy.
3 years. I feel like didn't start one, but I did one with a friend, and then I started a show.
Okay. That was right. The reality show.
Yes.
For
That was called Blowing LA.
Yes, I remember this.
Yes.
What was it on? I forgot.
It was on Paramount.
Yes,
And now
Paramount.
you can watch it on Tubi, but
love
don't judge me. Okay, I'm different. Now.
Oh, is to be embarrassing?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm embarrassing, but they make me. I mean, I definitely am like the shit stirrer. You
Okay,
know.
you're like the villain. They made you the villain of the show.
Yes, and the crazy one.
Was it authentic or no? Were you doing it or were they editing?
I think I think I am a little crazy, like fun, crazy. But I also I learned a lot, and like now we're like a little more toned down.
Okay, got it. What did
know?
you learn? What was it like
I learned
watching yourself?
that not to get so upset about things and to really think them through.
Okay, got it. To kind of breathe through it a
Breathe
little bit
through.
more.
I've been doing a lot of breath work this year.
Okay, got it.
A lot of
It's like-
meditation.
it's like creating distance between you pissed me off and I
Yes,
responded.
yes.
Okay.
I like to react on impulse, and now I'm kind of like, okay, wait a second, Laura. Let's think about that before we,
Yeah,
go
that
for
makes
it.
sense. Wait, this is really well. So I met you originally at Magic.
Yes,
It was
with
when
Tori.
you brought Tori.
Yeah.
You were there with Tori Spelling, and I had her on the stage, and you and I began our love affair.
We did.
I mean, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. We were just like connected, magnetic.
Magnetic.
Yes.
And I've watched your career, obviously launching brands, now launching your own salon. Give me the scoop. What is going on in your life?
Wow.
Tell me everything.
You
Leave
know,
nothing out.
I feel like this year has been one of those like big growth years for me. I got married really young. Should I start from the beginning?
Yeah, start it from
Should
the
I
bottom.
just go? Okay.
Yes, let's go.
All right. So, I got married really young, 23, had my babies at 24, 25. And I feel like people really shouldn't get married until maybe at their late 20s, like, early 30s, only because you really just don't know who you are. I mean, like, I don't even know who that girl is anymore, and so, like, the 20-year-old when she got married.
Totally fair.
So, anywho, I got divorced, have 2 beautiful children. Shortly after, I feel like after my divorce, like everything was just thriving. I mean, I think 3 years before the divorce, I opened up the beauty can, which is still standing. We downsized a little bit, much easier for just my industry. Like I'm working on set all the time, and so just having a little smaller is easier. And then divorced, started my reality show, started dating my previous boyfriend. We were together for a couple years and broke up. And, that it was a hard breakup. And I feel like this year has been one of those learning curves where like if you don't take care of your mental health and yourself and you just keep going and because you just want to work through it, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It sounds like you were just kind of pushing, and you have a lot of high-profile clients.
Yes.
From Kelly Osbourne, Dixie D'Amelio, obviously Tori Spelling.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot for a lot of people. So what is it like running this brand and having so much on you and so much demand, but then also needing to prioritize yourself?
See, and I feel like I was always when I was younger and stuff, I always just like kept things, like I was like, I can do it. And I never really expressed any like thing when that bothered me. And I feel like I hold things in. And so I feel like this year it was too much. And so I kind of like had a moment where I had to really take a step back because this industry can really suck you up and spit you out. And I feel like it can kind of take you. I am sober. And I'm like really proud of that right now because I think, when things get tough, I'm just going to say it, when your life feels like everything is just crazy at one time, we tend to go and be like, I need to get a drink. I need to go out. I need, oh my gosh, the kids are with my mom tonight. Like I want to go get a glass of wine. I'm so exhausted. But I felt like I was starting to drink because of that. And I didn't want to have a glass of wine because I was stressed or drink because I was going, having a hard day. Like I used to have a glass of wine just to socialize. But when it got to that, I said, we can't do this anymore. And so I feel so great. And I feel more clear, feel more connected with people. I'm not, I don't know. I just feel like my mental health is definitely better now because I really am taking this time to really get to know myself, and, prioritize my health and also work with these amazing people.
That's so beautiful, Laura. And I think it's really cool that you're talking about how you were identifying that maybe you were medicating the challenges in your life instead of dealing with it. And it sounds like now you're kind of taking a step back and being like, maybe I need to set some boundaries and say, I don't want this. This is not working for me. Give some feedback. Because I think most people will adjust to those. I remember for myself growing up with how I was raised in a lot of trauma, I didn't know how to develop boundaries because you just have to get really good at accepting what happens, even if it sucks. And then you just live your life accepting what happens, even when it's not good.
Yes.
And then you find yourself in this place where you're like, actually, this doesn't work for me anymore. And it's almost like this bottle rocket of emotion that's suddenly bubbling out of you in every turn. And any person in front of you is going to be the victim of that until you're like, actually, we should probably reduce some of the fluid in this jar before we start pouring more on it.
What you just said, you couldn't say it better because that's exactly, it is great. Like I had trauma. It's so funny because I don't know about you, but like I never was like, I don't have trauma. I'm perfect. I'm fine. And then like now at this ripe age of, I'm going to be 39, I feel like, I don't know about you, but as we get older, I feel like we start to really feel those emotions and like things like in our past and trauma and stuff like that. And, listen, I lost my dad at a really young age. I, struggled with other things when I was younger. And I definitely, is the word I never, thank you. Mm-hmm. But now when something triggers you, like this last year, like say like a breakup or like something happening with something, it just, everything is like you said, it's like a volcano.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how to handle a lot of it. And so, but like I said, now I'm in like the most amazing place because of boundaries.
Yeah, and it's
So-
hard, I think, as a mom, because you never really get to that point where you can say, okay, I'm going to take all this time off for myself, because
Totally.
these children need you to show up for them.
Well, yeah, and also being a single mom, you know, we have to provide. And so that was one thing when I really wanted to take work off, and I was like, when I like literally was crying, or like I was like, I can't take work off. I have to go. And you know, I'm just gonna say it. Listen, I'm booked 50% of my skill for hair, but also 50% of my personality, because I like to make people laugh. So anytime they say me, they're like, where's funny Laura? Where is she? You know, and so if I was sad, it was so hard, because I was like, I have to reel it in, and I have to not show that. And it was hard.
And I think it's impossible, right? At the end of the day, it's like, it's impossible to try to be someone else
Yes.
all the time, because at a certain point, it's like, what are we doing here? And then you must have felt so empty, because you're leaving, you're giving everything your all, and then you're going home. It's like, well, I'm glad that you thought I was funny, because I actually don't think this is funny, and this isn't working for me anymore.
No, totally. And I feel like the one thing though that really did make me happy, like during, like, we all have our hard times, was just the support of like my clients too, and being able to be vulnerable and letting them know, hey, I'm not okay. Like, I am going through something. And so, but yeah.
What a gift. How long have you been sober?
Okay, so it's going to be 68 days, and I'm doing great.
That's great. That's really good. What prompted you to say that it was time to really prioritize yourself?
I just felt like it was almost like nothing was making me feel happy. Like, I'm such a happy person, but like you said, like when something is triggered you, like it, like a volcano, like, and we keep trying to like find something to make, and that wasn't it, like drinking or going out, or, you know, it wasn't helping me. And so I thought, and I had like one weekend, and I was like, I don't want to be like this anymore. And I need to help myself. And so, yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful. And you've built such a successful brand for yourself. So it must be really encouraging to look back and be like, oh, I have this that I built, but I need to focus on me. And it's so interesting. I think that in media right now, triggers are such a big buzzword, but triggers can be a really great sign. It's like having a car and the check engine light comes on. That could be your trigger. It's saying that something's not right. Look under the hood, like look inside and focus within. And I think that from that is probably what makes you so great at what you do, where you can connect with these incredible artists and help their dreams come to life, help them feel beautiful. You're an entrepreneur and you're doing all this stuff, but it sounds like you're coming from your true self, which is remarkable.
Yeah, I just want to be authentic and just be, what's the word, vulnerable, and yeah.
Yeah, you're doing it so well. Okay, so I am obsessed. So you've got the beauty can. We can follow you on there, follow what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going to do more television, because I feel like
Something's in the works. I can't talk about it, but yes, I really love doing that, and I love being funny, and I love making people laugh. So yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Well, I love you.
I love
so much.
you.
This is amazing. Give you a hug.
We need to do this more. Have more
Literally,
time.
as much as humanly possible. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking to Nikki Chadro Schneider. She is behind the incredible organization Project Pop Drop, where they are working with 100 charities, providing 90,000 meals every single month. We'll be right back with the McCords Today. I'm Rachel McCord. Welcome back to the McCord List Today. I'm Rachel McCord. Nikki Chadro Schneider is here. We are so excited. Wow, what an honor to have you here. You have been doing so much as the co-founder of Project Pop Drop. That's amazing. Tell me what inspired this incredible philanthropy organization that you built.
Thank you so much. Rachel, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for looking fabulous when I make the trip out here with 100 kids, only for you.
I love you. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the best show, so I have to be on it, obviously. So Project Pop Drop is my nonprofit that I founded with my husband. We actually came up with the idea on our first date, which is really crazy, but ever since that first date, we have gotten together and helped feed over 90,000 meals per month. We work and collaborate with over 100 charities, really per year. And we've been honored by the White House, which has been absolutely crazy and exciting at the same time. And it's been really a journey, and we're on a mission to empower as many families and parents like you and I to help empower their kids to be the next generation of leaders.
Wow. Okay, so take me back to this date.
Oh,
what
boy.
inspired this organization? How did you come up with the concept?
So, like most crazy LA girls, I decided on my husband's first date with me that I would restructure his company. I'm sure you could relate. You did that too,
do.
right?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah. You still do that, right? Yeah. We're never going to stop doing
Today I was doing it in the kitchen.
that. Ladies, how do you think we got a ring on it?
Oh
Right?
my gosh, I love you.
So that's basically what happened. He told me, I have this office supply company. And I'm like, cool, what do you do to make it different? How do you compete with Office Depot and Staples and all that stuff? And he's like, well, we do one thing different. Instead of giving out 3-pound bags of M&Ms, which is what his competitors did with Office Depot, big box retailers, he said, I feed homeless people. I tell my customers, would you rather get this bag of M&Ms or would you rather feed a homeless person? And he said enough people said that they wanted to change that business model with a product that is like kind of the backbone of all offices, which is printer cartridges, paper, office supplies. You need them to run your office. So how did they take an essential product and give back with it? And I was like, this is really cool, but where's your marketing? And he's like, I don't have any marketing. We just go and do it. We're not trying to get the credit for it. I was like, well, if you want to empower other people to come with you and have it grow, you need to start telling people about it. So you should really have a nonprofit. He's like, I don't know how to do all that stuff. Cut to the next day. We had a logo going, register the domain. Rachel would do the same thing.
I love you. Oh my gosh, you're totally my beast mode.
Yeah.
I love you because I always say successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do.
That's right.
And that's really what it is. Like you're sitting down, you're seeing a problem. Now, is this a common thing? They give out these M&Ms with their
Yes,
for their clients?
that's what they do.
With every order or something? Or
They do that. Thank you for asking that. That is a crazy thing that the big office supply industry does. And I'm like, why are people adding that a diabetes problem in America and not taking the opportunity to give back when they can, when they have such a big corporation? So we wanted to change that. And that's, I think, how we got the attention of, major thought leaders like Tony Robbins and Oprah's team and the White House, because we're really trying to change the game of how small businesses give back. Because big businesses give back, but small businesses, they don't feel as comfortable because they don't think they can do it. But what they don't see which is what people like me see, is it's not just philanthropy, it's a strategy.
yes.
So we want to empower other people because we're a small business with 4 kids and triplets, by the way, which is a whole other side talk. But we want to say, like, if we're doing it, every company could be giving back, and parents should be teaching their kids to give back because they're not teaching that much in school. So we need to do it.
Absolutely. Now tell me about the infrastructure for small businesses, because I think that's really important to understand. How would someone say, you know what, I want to be a part of this 90,000 meals given every single month?
Great question. Thank you for asking that. There always has to be a call to action, and 2 things. I find that you have to label things for people to understand what they are. The thing that I've done to label what we've done is I call it the SRS, which is, that corporations have corporate social responsibility. So our system is called the social responsibility system. And then that is our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is we do on the last Saturday of every month. So we hold ourselves, our company, and our community accountable. And every last Saturday of the month, we say no one is too busy, that once a month they can't give back. So with this social responsibility system, that's how we hold ourselves accountable. And our customers for our office supply company become our partners. Our customers become our partners, become our friends, and then they become the other word that I talked about that we have to label, which is givefluencers.
I saw that. So Shaka Smith has been a guest on the show. He's a good friend of mine. And I was hearing him talk about givefluencers many times.
Yes.
And then I saw it at your beautiful event that you did, KidCon, I think it was
Yes,
called.
KidsCon is so
KidsCon.
great.
Oh my goodness.
Her son's adorable, by the way. I love
You're
that
so
kid.
sweet. Jude loves you by way of that event. Like it is his favorite event
Seriously?
he's ever gone to. I'm not even joking. And I've taken him to a lot of events.
Wow.
He talks about it all the time. He came home literally the next day and was like, when can I go back to that event? So please tell me you're doing it.
Tell
Please
him
tell
that
me I
the
can be
event is
involved.
at my house every day. So if he wants to come have a play date, KidsCon's at my house every day.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's
I
talk
have a
about
present
that.
for him, by the way.
No
I
way.
brought a present for Jude, so hopefully he'll love Auntie Nikki even more.
Oh, he's gonna
getting swag today.
Oh, and see, he's an only child, and you're like sneezed and went to 4. So you
Yeah.
had one child.
that's
You're
right.
like, I want one more. You weren't expecting it. Suddenly, you get the news.
Yeah.
Triplets.
Right.
When was this?
So they're 7. So 7 years ago, I went to an ultrasound thinking I'm going to give my kid one more sibling. And I'm like, you know what? I'm almost 35. I don't think I'm going to have another one. Because like they say at 35,
You're
it's done.
geriatric.
Yeah, it's a high
Can we find
risk.
another word, by the way?
Yeah.
These are really smart people in the medical industry. I think someone could come up with a better word than geriatric.
Totally.
At 35, like, no.
Excuse me, we're still MILFs. Am I allowed to say that?
You are.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, we will find another word because I guess I broke the mold of the high risk geriatric because at 35, I became pregnant with triplets. But then I'm going to drop some even more knowledge bombs on you. Check this out. Do you know that when you're 35 that you're more susceptible to multiples? So watch out, ladies.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because a lot of my friends have had babies later on, according to, right? It's like, to me, it's like, how are you even ready until you're in your 30s?
I know. Like, I'm not even an adult person yet.
I know. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. My friend, like, she had a baby pretty young when we were like young here in Hollywood, just moved out here. And I was like, I just took it for granted, I think, what she had to do to sustain a pretty successful career as an actress. And she'd be messaging me last minute, like, hey, can you help me at the casting? And I'd be like, oh, I can't. Like, now as a mom, I'm like, I wish I could go back in time and help my friend. It's a lot.
We don't know. We didn't know, guys.
No,
We
it's
did
not a
know.
joke. It's a whole lot of.
No, it's not junior varsity. It's varsity.
It's full on. It's 24/7, 0 days off. Your heart is outside your body with all these little love muffins.
Your time is not your own. I think that's a given.
Agreed. Now, did you take some time off for yourself or the babies?
So I was begging my doctor to put me on bed rest. I'm like, hello, I have a toddler. Can I go on bed rest? He's like, you're fine. I'm like, bro, are you even still a doctor? I'm like, can I go on bed rest? He's like, you're fine. So until my stomach was so big I couldn't fit it behind the wheel, I literally did not go on bed rest. And then I would say a few weeks before the pregnancy, they were like, okay, now you need to chill. I know that's hard for you, but it's
I was
happening.
about to say, I would think that would be the most challenging thing. I never thought about not being able to fit behind the steering wheel.
It's a thing, guys. It's a real thing. I don't recommend it,
This is
but it is a
iconic.
thing.
So suddenly you can't drive, literally, and you've got these beautiful little babies growing in your belly. You have the kids. Do you take time off? Are you like, how did you adjust from 1 to 4? I mean, 0 to 1 is ginormous.
It's huge.
I've always been nervous about 1 to 2. I feel like I have so many companies and my show and everything. I'm like, I feel like that's my other child.
It is.
But then I imagine you're kind of like, yeah, let's do one more. And then you have suddenly 4.
Yeah.
Is it just wild chaos?
It is. It's like every day's like a reality show. And we've been offered a reality show. And I'm like, I don't think the title of the show in my head would be like, thank God this isn't your life. So if it was a show, that is the working title. I'll just leave it at that.
Kind of hysterical. I can see why someone would want to produce that show. I kind of want to produce that show.
I mean, you're on the show. Get into it. Get into it.
Wow. Okay. So you're balancing all of this stuff. What are your tips? What's a day in your life really look like?
A day in my life is I should be on Zoloft, but I'm not. And what's happening is I have kind of like a make it happen energy, and I'm a giver. So I wake up like wanting to give every day. Give to my kids, give to people that ask me for favors, they need to market something, or I also work with Hollywood Weekly. I'm still the life and style editor of that magazine. So like I can always somehow get somebody publicity and I give it to them. I like to give people their first press clip, and anything that has to do with charity, like it's very hard for me to have the boundary to say no, because while I'm on this planet, I want to help as many people as I can. And that's why I created that word gifluencer, because I truly believe that that's the evolution of influencers. And before influencers, you probably remember this, there were it girls, because you were one. You know, there was the magazine editors, then there were the it girls, then there were the influencers. And just like the trailblazers, like people like me of my generation that were the magazine editors, they always know who's next and what's next. And I believe that gifluencers are next. And that's why you see people like Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton, who I've worked with, and all the people that, you know, came up along the way. Now they're giving back, and their brands are just as well known for giving back as they are for hawking whatever product they're hawking, because that's the evolution of what we all need to make the world move the needle and be parents to leave our children in a world that we want to leave them in, you know?
Incredible. Nikki, what an inspiration. Okay, how can we support you? How can we sign up if we have a small business? How can we get involved in what you're doing?
Thank you so much for the support, and we never turn down volunteers. So anybody that wants to volunteer for Project Pop Drop, We do events all the time. We were actually on the news 3 times this week, which we're so grateful for. We were on ABC, Fox, and CBS covering our event that we did at Fire Station 69 with the firefighters that help save Palisades, that actually helped save my home. So that was pretty amazing. And we're doing a lot of events coming up with our mutual friend, Christine Peak, and other givefluencers like One Hope Wine, that our company is exactly what we're trying to do, is get as many companies and thought leaders like you that want to be a givefluencer and do these events and put good energy and like put good news into the world. Because I don't know about you, when I watch the news, I'm depressed. So I want to make some good news. That's what we could keep doing together. Follow Project Pop Drop, be a givefluencer, watch the McCord Today show, because she interviews the thought leaders that are moving the needle.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That is our show on the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. Thank you so much for all of our amazing guests, and I cannot wait to see you next time. We will see you then. Mwah.